clock is 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. It's the White. He's in. Patriots win the Super Bowl. Brady has his 5th. What a comeback.
This is All Eyes on the Pats podcast.
Welcome to All Eyes on the Pats podcast. Yes, I am live. I'm your host, Steve Atkinson, and the Patriots are 3 picks away of picking in the first round of the NFL draft. Will they trade back? Probably not. Will they trade out of the first round? Maybe. Or will they pick a wide receiver? Will they pick a linebacker? Will they pick a cornerback? Will they pick an offensive lineman? I'm going to have you that. I'm going to be on until the Patriots pick and a little bit after. So probably for the next 40 minutes, I'm going to think the Patriots, the draft's been going pretty quickly since 8 o'clock. They'll probably be picking probably in the next, I want to say 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll be on for the next half hour and we'll talk about the pick after it's announced. Some of the predictions that I had for the Patriots taking tonight have already been selected. A few out like Evan Neal, Jameson Williams. A very surprising trade, though. A.J. Brown went to the Philadelphia Eagles, and that is a very surprising trade. He was from the Titans. That just happened like a second ago. So but positions of need for the Patriots are basically cornerback, linebacker, offensive line, wide receiver. Definitely, I think they should pick somebody at 21. I think a lot of, especially on the wide receiver side, a lot of those guys were sliding, and there's still positions of need and positions of strength at the cornerback position as well. You have that guy from Florida, I can't pronounce his name. I can't pronounce his name. Sorry, Kyer Elam from Florida. So we'll see what happens. But I think they should pick somebody because this draft is very important. Bob Kraft said at the owners' meetings a couple weeks ago, he doesn't like the way the Patriots have been drafting the last few years, and last year was better than they've been drafting. So hopefully that this draft is also good as well. And it's more eye-opening when you don't have Tom here anymore and there's more holes to fill and you don't have that guy here to fill those holes, right? I don't want to say Bill was always bad at drafting, okay? I was listening to the radio today, or Felger and Maz on the podcast, and they were talking, the callers were calling in saying Bill sucks at the draft. And he hasn't sucked at the draft, all the time. I mean, he's drafted well. He drafted Gronkowski. He's drafted Ty Warren back in the early part of the dynasty. Richard Seymour, all of those guys. Tom Brady, obviously. But the question is, can he still do it? And that's the question. Can he still do it? He's bringing in his family. And he's bringing in people that he knows, Matt Patricia, who's probably going to be right by his side, Matt Groh, who his dad worked with Bill Belichick back in the early part of 2000s. So it's very family and friends part of the Patriots. You have Joe Judge who's back. So as we are in pick 18 right now in the NFL draft, we're 3 picks away from the Patriots draft choice. Hopefully, I'm hoping they get a receiver. Now, Jameson Williams is off the board. He went to the Lions. So I'm hoping if they're going to get a receiver, they get John Mechie. Or maybe trade N'Keal Harry and maybe go get someone. But I think if they're going to do this and they're going to get a receiver in the first round for Mac Jones, it's got to be John Mechie from Alabama. That's who I think they should get. Last year, they got the quarterback. This year, maybe they get the receiver. They tried to draft a receiver in the first round a couple of years ago. It didn't work with N'Keal Harry, obviously. Bill Belichick has never really drafted a wide receiver in the first round since he's been the head coach of the Patriots, which is kind of crazy. But he really hasn't. So it's going to be interesting to see as we head into pick 21. We are now at pick 19. And we are getting closer to the Patriots selections. But the surprising trade of the night is A.J. Brown is now with the Philadelphia Eagles, and that is a huge thing for Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. Huge. So, but when it comes down to the Patriots, right, they have to hit on this draft, right? This is a very important draft, and these next few drafts, not just last year, this year is important, next year is important, and the year after that could be important too. Like, there are multiple years where you have to have good drafts to build a good team. You can't just spend in free agency like a year ago because their former quarterback won the Super Bowl on another team, right? So, and I've been over this, the quarterback wins the Super Bowl, the Tom Brady wins it, and then they go spend all of that money on free agents, and then, Robert Kraft's in the draft room like he always is, but he sees Mac Jones at 15 a year ago, and it's like, okay, you better take Mac Jones, and Bill had no choice. I'm sure he wanted to go defense right there, but he didn't. So then he brings, he already brought back Cam Newton earlier, and then Cam Newton loses the job, and Mac's the guy. Now this year, you bring back Joe Judge, who was the head coach of the Giants. You promote Matt Groh to director of player personnel. You promote Nick Caley to maybe tight ends. You do Matt Patricia is going to coach offensive line, and you re-sign Brian Hoyer, Devin McCourty, Matthew Slater. Brian Hoyer is helping Mac Jones, right? So he could be the offensive coordinator / quarterback coach, Brian Hoyer. I trust Brian Hoyer to be the offensive coordinator more than I would trust Joe Judge. Also, you have Matthew Slater to do special teams. You have Devin McCourty to coach the safeties and the secondary for Brian Belichick. And then you have Gerard Mayo, who holds the meetings, right, for the defense, and Steve Belichick calls the plays. So that's where we're at, and that's where we are at. There's no defensive coordinator. There's no offensive coordinator. You got a second-year quarterback with a better receiving core, right? You have Devontae Parker now. You have Kendrick Bourne, who's good. Jacoby Myers. But you're missing that Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, that's what Mac Jones is missing. That's what Cincinnati has. They have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Look what happened last year. In his second year, he went to the Super Bowl. In Patrick Mahomes' second year, he won the Super Bowl. Mac Jones' second year, what's going to happen? It's a very important year for Mac Jones, and he doesn't have an offensive coordinator. So, besides Brian Hoyer, right? So, what's going to happen this year? And that's a big question. That's why if you get somebody that went to school with Mac Jones and played at Alabama and has good chemistry with him, you're good. Or it doesn't even have to be a teammate at Alabama. It could be any young receiver that you can develop with Mac, and it could be like an Edelman thing, right? It doesn't even have to come in the draft. It can come maybe post-draft. But they need a young receiver because Devontae Parker is coming off that ACL. He's coming off some injuries, right? He's injury prone. And that's probably why Jameson Williams fell down so much during the draft tonight. So the pick is in for the Saints. We are on pick 19. We are 2 picks away from the New England Patriots. Next is Pittsburgh, and then it's New England. So, again, 2 picks away, It's, we started at 10 o'clock because I figured, you know what? It's been quick tonight. It's really, really quick. The start at 8 o'clock, and teams aren't taking as long to pick. I feel like it's going by real quick. So, and honestly, if you're on Twitter, you have Burt Breer and the writer Ian Rappaport coming out with who the teams are picking before it gets announced by Roger Goodell in Las Vegas. So, again, the AFC has gotten better, right? When we look at the AFC, Buffalo has gotten a lot better, and the Jets got better tonight. The Jets look good, but also the Dolphins are good too. I mean they have Tyreek Hill and And, the Dolphins have always given the Patriots trouble. So if they, the division is tougher, right? And this is why it's a very important year for Bill Belichick, because if you're Robert Kraft and you're 7-10 and you miss the playoffs and you're mad that you haven't won a playoff game, what do you do with Bill? Do you move on? Do you move on from Bill? Right? No, I don't think that will happen, but I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think if they go 6-10, I think it's in play. And they miss the playoffs entirely, it's in play. Because you can't move on from, and I'm sorry this is going back to Brady, but it is. You can't move on from Brady, and then in 3 years post him, you're not a playoff team. That's ridiculous. Okay? If you don't think Tom is the team, then you have to build the team, right? Which Belichick has done. Before. Before Brady was Brady, the team was being built by Bill Parcells. Pete Carroll came in and kind of crumbled it up a little bit. And then Bill came, drafted the quarterback, and then the rest is history. So it can happen, but Bill won the lottery. So we have to see how Bill does during these next few drafts. He hit on last year with Christian Barmore and Mac Jones. Let's see if he hits this year. As we have now at pick 20. And the Patriots are next. So the Steelers are on the clock right now. And the Patriots are next. So I'm literally going to be on for another, probably until like 10:40ish. Because I only get like 45 minutes on this Spreaker app. I will be posting it live. I think it's already on Twitter, but I will be posting it on Facebook as well, because it doesn't automatically post on there. But the Patriots are next. So it'll be interesting to see who they get. But again, the AFC is loaded. And the AFC is loaded. The Patriots better not trade down. The Patriots are next, and this is from Mark Daniels. I'm reading on Twitter. The Patriots are on deck, still on the board. Jermaine Johnson is a defensive end. Cornerback Trent McDuff, defensive back Drax Hill, linebacker Nakobe Dean, linebacker Quay Walker, linebacker Devin Lloyd, defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt, cornerback Kyer Elam, I can't pronounce that guy's name at all, and cornerback Andrew Booth. So there's guys on the board. They better not trade down, okay? They better not trade. Pick somebody. There's a lot of guys out there. Why would you pick for future picks and future assets when Bill may not even be the head coach in a few years? You need to not trade down and pick someone. Whether it's on offense, it's on defense, you need to be faster at linebacker. I don't give a shit. Okay? Just pick someone, please. All right. So I am going to give you guys up-to-dates. Let's see. Who the Steelers pick is in. So and the Steelers have drafted Kenny Pickett. The first quarterback is off the board with the 20th pick. I'm sorry, the 20th pick in the NFL draft. The Steelers drafted Kenny Pickett. So, from Burt Breer. So the Patriots are next. And I'm going to be refreshing every 2 seconds. All right, so the Patriots are on the clock. And here we go. So all right, the Patriots better pick somebody here because there's a lot of guys on the board. There's corners, there's linebackers. There's still receivers on the board. Jonnu Smith just tweeted, good things happen to good people. So maybe he's hearing something. Usually Matt Judon's the one tweeting things. Not Jonnu Smith. So maybe they'll trade N'Keal Harry for Deebo Samuel. Doubt it. Wishful thinking on my part, huh? That's what they should have drafted instead of N'Keal Harry. But anyway, they should have drafted a lot of guys instead of N'Keal Harry. Michael Hurley just said, wow, awful pick. I'm not sure what he's talking about. So let me refresh Twitter. So the picks on Twitter get announced before they get announced on TV. So we'll see what happens. Could the Patriots trade for Deebo Samuel to 21st pick? It's 10-18, and it was actually predicted the Patriots were going to be picking at 10:50. So it's kind of good that they're picking earlier than expected. People staying up till 11 o'clock to watch them trade back. They haven't traded back. I'm just saying, what I'm saying? It's kind of like, stay up all that time for your team and they don't pick a guy. All right. So the Patriots are on the clock, and I'm just going to keep talking so there's no dead air. I know there's some dead air for a minute, but I'm just kind of waiting for I'm just keep refreshing Twitter. But again, very important pick here for the Patriots. Very important graph for the Patriots in general. Waiting for Burt Breer to tweet who the Patriots are going to pick. Before Roger Goodell makes the announcement on TV. Jesus Christ. I feel like Burt Breer has been on point with all the picks so far, like before they happen. And then for the Patriots one, though, he's not. So I don't know if I feel good about this. I hope to God they're not trading back. Because that would suck. Let's see. Well, if they do trade out, Bill Belichick would get his way this year because last year he didn't get his way. I mean, the Mac Jones pick wasn't Belichick. It was Bob Kraft. So, oh my God, so they're announcing. Oh no, the Patriots are trading back. The Patriots are trading back. The Patriots are trading back. And I heard this today. I heard this earlier. And I was hoping that it wasn't true. I heard this earlier today. Hold on, I'm tweeting this. Because I really wanted them to pick somebody here. I really did. I really wanted them to pick someone here. Oh, shit. That's not good. Yep, the Patriots are trading back. So, to those of you that wanted to stay out, we don't know if it's out of the first round yet. But if it's out of the first round, it's not going to be good. Just saw a tweet, if it's out of the first round, we riot. Oh, boy. And the Patriots are sliding out of the 21st spot, so the Chiefs are on the clock. And they might have just traded out of the first round, which means they get more picks, but so the Patriots pick 29, 94, and 121. So the Patriots trade pick 21. The Chiefs trade pick 29, 94, and 121. So the Chiefs pick is in. And like I said, I did hear earlier today that the Patriots are probably going to trade back, but I was hoping it wasn't true. So the Patriots will hopefully get pick 29 unless they trade that out of that too. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. And the Chiefs are taking the cornerback Trent McDuff out of Washington. So again, the Patriots could have taken this cornerback that the Chiefs just got, but the Chiefs got him. I mean, you have this, you had players to draft. I don't understand why you would draft out of this round. I don't get it. This Pickett kid from the Steelers just got. Let me tell you. I'm watching the TV, and he's got a Patrick Mahomes girlfriend. She's looking like, oh my God, I'm gonna be rich. So Patrick Mahomes girlfriend where that she's definitely in it for the money. Like she don't care where you got drafted. She don't care just as long as you get drafted. If not, I'm leaving your ass. That's probably what it was. Because I could just tell, like, the way that, oh man, the way that they were showing it on TV, that kid that just got drafted. So the Patriots will get the 29th overall pick. They get the 22, and then a third pick in the 22 draft and a fourth round pick. So they get the 29th pick. I have 20 minutes left of this podcast I can do. And so if they hurry up and make this selection, we are on pick 21 and we have to go to pick 29. This may be a 45-minute podcast. So I'm going to wing it out as long as I can. But again, this makes no sense to me. The Patriots could have gotten a cornerback. I don't get it. All these teams are getting better in the AFC. Okay, you look at the AFC as a whole, especially that AFC West, right? You know, you lose Josh McDaniels to the Raiders, and you have Russell Wilson now in the Denver Broncos. You have the Chargers, who are stacked; they're loaded. You have the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the AFC is so stacked with talent. And if you're the Patriots, you're looking at it going, no, I'm just going to trade out. Who told him to do that? Matt Patricia, while he was eating barbecue sauce with chicken fingers? Chicken fingers. Oh, yeah, Bill, we'll trade out. That's what was happening in the draft room, which it was predicted that they could trade out because the wide receivers are falling down. There's talent, but again, the Patriots could have gotten that McDuff kid that the fucking Chiefs just got. I don't get it. I don't understand. So the Patriots are now at pick 29. So now they may be picking at 10:50. So we'll see. But as of right now, it looks like the Patriots will be picking at pick 29 unless they decide to trade out of that as well, which I wouldn't be surprised. So, I wouldn't be shocked. Let's see. Just refreshing Twitter. Live reaction. So let me tell you that Bill Belichick got his way this year. Robert Kraft got his way last year. They didn't need to draft a quarterback this year. So the Patriots, Belichick has gotten his way. You know, he's probably like, all right, Robert, we got our quarterback. Now I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. So the updated Patriot draft picks are as follows. They pick at 29. Round 2, they pick at 54. Round 3, they have 2 picks at 85 and 94. Round 4, they pick at 121 and 127. I'm reading from Mike Reese. Round 5, they pick at 138. Round 6, they pick at 183, 200, and 210. And round 7, they pick at 245. So they got 7 picks. 7, we'll we're on pick 22 when they're at pick 29. So we got 7 more left. It's not. I think the Patriots should pick at 29, but I wouldn't be surprised if they trade out of the first round. The way it's going. Because the way it's going, it's Bill saying, all right, Robert, you got your way last year. We did it your way. Even though I wanted to trade out of the first round and take Davis Mills or whatever, another, a quarterback later in the draft. We had to get Mac Jones because he was at 15. Now this year we're doing it my way because we got the quarterback. And it's all defense and it's all, running backs and not running backs. They don't need running backs, but you know what I mean. Linebackers, corners, safeties. It's all of them are going to slide down, and let's go to do it my way now, and that's what Bill's doing. Now, is he listening to Buffalo's on the clock now? Is he listening to Matt Patricia? Yes. He's listening to Matt Groh? Yes. But who's calling the shots? Matt Groh even said it. Bill Belichick's the GM. Not Matt Groh, who's the director of player personnel for the New England Patriots. It's Bill Belichick, who's the GM. Okay. He calls the final shots. Last year, it didn't happen. Last year, it was collaborative. Is it collaborative this year? I don't even think last year it was collaborative. I think it was just them going around the room saying, you like this pick, you like this pick, you like this pick. It wasn't even collaborative. It was more of like what they had to do because the world just watched their former quarterback win a Super Bowl and there was a top 15 quarterback on the board still in Mac Jones. So they had no choice. They had to please the people. And Bill had to please his owner and draft the guy. And then start him. Now you're going to build around him. Are you going to build around him? Please? Are you going to build even the defense? Please? You need to get faster and younger on defense. You need to get faster at receiver. Receiver, again, is... It's complicated. Tight end too. Like Hunter Henry's good. Jonnu Smith's He could be better in this second year, but we'll see what happens. So I have 12 minutes. They have 12 minutes to make to get to 29 because this live stream is going to go off. So hopefully, I'm hoping. If not, I'll do part 2. I'll just go live again. That's what I'll do. And then to only trade down again. And then we can try this tomorrow. All right. So who did Buffalo pick? That's going to be big. Because Buffalo is already loaded. They got Von Miller, Josh Allen. They already got a stacked team as it is. Oh, you fucking serious? Are you fucking kidding me? All right, so the Bills, this is from My Sports Update. The Bills jump in front of the Cowboys to select Florida cornerback Kyer Elam. More secondary help. Buffalo gave up number 130 to move up 2 spots. Why couldn't the Patriots get Kyer Elam? Why couldn't the Patriots get that other cornerback the Chiefs got? McDuff or whatever his name was. Why couldn't the Patriots just pick at 21 and get Kyer Elam or McDuff? Why? Why? You need a corner. Malcolm Butler is not your number 1 corner. He wasn't even in the league last year. You didn't even play him in the Super Bowl. What are you doing? So there's going to be a lot of like, what is Bill doing? Because the Buffalo Bills are loaded and stacked, right? And the top 2 cornerbacks that I picked Kyer Elam that the Patriots would get, and now he's going to Buffalo in your division. In your division, he's a top corner that you could have gotten, and you didn't because you traded back because you're stubborn. You're stubborn. I don't. No one understands Bill's thinking at times, right? Really. I mean, all the time. No one understands what Bill Belichick's going to do because they all have, like, is he losing it? He can't draft well. You know, I don't know. But it's not going good so far because the AFC East has gotten better. They've improved. The Jets have improved tonight. The Buffalo Bills have improved this offseason and now tonight. The Miami Dolphins have improved. The Patriots have gotten Devontae Parker. They brought back some veterans to be assistant coaches, player/assistant coaches, because they don't have coordinators. And they just drafted out of the first round. Meanwhile, they have a first-round quarterback going into his second year. It's not looking good for the Patriots so far. I wouldn't listen to the radio tomorrow, preferably the Sports Hub, because it's probably not going to be good radio unless the Patriots pick someone in 29. Because if they don't pick someone at 29 and they trade out, it's not going to be a good day tomorrow on Sports Talk Radio. I'm just saying. Might not want to listen. I may have to do a part 2 because this podcast is going to end in 8 minutes, and I don't think they're going to be picking in 8 minutes. It probably will be 10:50. So, all right. We're going to have to do part 2 coming up. That's crazy. You had 2 cornerbacks. Kyer Elam was, I think, someone they met with. Why do you not pick him? I don't understand. Wow. Yeah, and I had Kyer Elam going to the Patriots too. What the Yeah, Buffalo's loaded. And they just got better, too. I mean, if they get John Mechie, the Patriots, that would be good. But Steve's draft board hasn't been good tonight. So this is what Jeff Howe tweeted. The Patriots' 29th pick should be a target for any second-round teams that want a QB with a fifth-year option. Could it be a recipe for the Patriots to trade back a second time? And Scott Zolak replied, the fact that I thought this at the same time scares me shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if they traded back a second time. From the way it looks, they might. All right. In 2 minutes, I'm going to stop this podcast and I'm going to do another live stream, and it's going to be part 2 of day 1 because I think and then I will broadcast until 29, and if they trade out of 29, I will stop, and we will. I'll do it again tomorrow. So. Give it another few seconds. Dallas Cowboys are on the clock now. See, the Patriots can trade back if you have the guy, like a quarterback. I mean, you have a quarterback in Mac Jones, and I believe he's the franchise quarterback, but he's not. He's going into his second year. And again, like I said earlier in the podcast, it's an important second year for this guy. And he doesn't even have an offensive coordinator, except Brian Hoyer. So, and I'm saying Brian Hoyer because I know he's the backup, but he can be a player coach, and that's what I mean by that. It's crazy. And the fact that the Jets got better, technically on defense, they got better tonight. And then the Bills just got the cornerback, and then the Chiefs got the other cornerback. I mean, come on. Really? All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to do part 2. I'm going to stop and do part 2. I'll be back in about 4 minutes.